Craig Studnicky from RelatedISG, welcoming you to our first edition of the Insider Series for calendar year 2021. I'm feeling so energized because it is 2021, and I'm also feeling energized that we're here at the W today in Fort Lauderdale with our Director of Sales, a guy that's been with RelatedISG for many years now, Mr. Robert Esposito.
Very good to see you, Craig, and welcome to the W.
Good to see you too, because of what happened last year, that word we're not supposed to mention, COVID.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to come here as often as I used to, and it's really nice to see you here on your home turf.
Well, it's great to have you back. You came at the height of the season. We're literally sold out at the W, both the towers. Fort Lauderdale is absolutely booming. As you can see, we're surrounded by water here. So everywhere you look, we have the ocean, we have the intercoastal, and we have the canals. And there are boats everywhere. It's this glorious day. It's around 80 degrees, sunny. And this is why everywhere you turn, you're going to bump into someone from the Northeast, California, Tennessee, Europe. Anyone who was able to get out in time before they shut the borders is here right now. But they're not here like they used to be.
What do you mean?
They've come for several weeks. So
So in the old days they would come for a weekend? Is that the difference?
Well, yeah, they would come for a long, for maybe about 4 or 5 days over a holiday or a long weekend, maybe a week. Now you speak to people you just keep running into here. They'll say, well, I'm here for 6 weeks. I'm here for 3 months. I'm here for 7, 8 weeks. I'm trying to extend after that because people aren't working from their offices anymore. So they said, until my company tells me I have to be back in my office, I don't want to be up north. I want to be here where I'm just working from home, enjoying myself. I can make my own schedule because I can work after the sun goes down and get my job done.
We're hitting the ground running on this one. This is a great way to start this. And by the way, yes, this is the first time I've been here in a few months because of COVID. What did I tell you when I saw you? What a remarkable difference a few months makes in East Fort Lauderdale. The town is buzzing. The town has upgraded. Four Seasons, 2 blocks away, is topped off.
Yes.
And as we've talked about, Four Seasons, anywhere Four Seasons go, the neighborhood changes. And you can kind of feel that buzz, not just in East Fort Lauderdale, but also here at the W. But before we get into Fort Lauderdale, Robert, the purpose of the Insider Series is in part to introduce you to the 400 plus agents that we have with RelatedISG, and also your competitors, because you work with brokers every single day of your life.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them know you as Robert Esposito, Director of Sales of the W Residences in Fort Lauderdale, but not Robert Esposito. So where are you from? When did you move to Florida? Why did you move to Florida? Just if you can give people a little background on you.
I was born in Connecticut.
Okay.
I then went to school. I went to university in Geneva, Switzerland.
Oh. Nobody in the United States would take you?
Well, my goal was to live in Europe. I always wanted to be able to live there. I didn't just want to have visited. I didn't want to just visit. I wanted to live there. Geneva is a very small city with a very big name. It's one of the most wealthy cities in the world. There are many ex-kings, queens, captains of industry who all went there to live because there's a very good tax negotiation. It's considered the safest city in the world, one of the most beautiful spots, and you're in the center of Europe. So you can get anywhere by car, train, plane, but by car or plane you can get anywhere.
Did you learn any languages while you were there?
Yes, I'm fluent in French.
Okay.
I did grow up around grandparents who spoke Italian.
Oh.
So Italian was my third language, but I don't get to use it much. But I'm always fluent in French because I've always used my French in business.
But between the Italian and French, you've got to understand Espanol then. You've got to understand.
Yes, I do understand a lot of Spanish, but I haven't yet dared to speak it. But that's my next language that I'm going to focus on.
A couple of glasses of wine usually frees me up from that.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, with French, it was not only my language to use on a daily basis personally, but I worked with French-speaking countries over many years. So even when I moved from Geneva, Switzerland to New York City, I started a marketing company. I still have many clients from French-speaking countries in Europe and in Africa. So I was always able to use my French.
When did you move? So Geneva to New York, and then New York to Florida. Why did you decide to leave the Big Apple and come to South Florida?
Well, it was a very subtle and slow change. So I spent 10 years, actually just about 10 years in Geneva, 1 year in London, and I then moved to New York City because I wanted to start this marketing business. And there's this thing called residential papers that you need to have to work out of a certain country. So as an American, I could either work in Switzerland or in the US. And New York was a place that I felt was a great place to start a marketing company. And one of those sectors was real estate.
Okay.
So I promoted over 45 Broadway shows, about 60 off-Broadway shows.
Useful for real estate.
Yes, very useful for real estate. My restaurants and what made it perfect for me to be here at the W Hotel and selling the residential condos is I had a 20-year background in promoting luxury hotels around the world.
Oh, God.
So both through editorial and advertising.
No, I didn't know that. Well, you're more perfect as director of sales for RelatedISG than I ever imagined. That's so good to know. Yeah.
So I worked with all the big groups like Starwood, Kimpton, Carnation. So I decided that I was going to market only sectors that I loved to use myself. So I grew up being taken to Broadway shows. My first Broadway show at 4 years old, so I loved Broadway shows. So to me, that was so much fun. And just as with real estate, I always look at and always said, what my job and everyone in my company's job is to put bottoms in seats. So if you're doing it in the theater, if you're doing it in a hotel bed, and if you're putting someone inside a condo unit or a home,
It's the same thing.
it's the same thing. You need to bring the attention to whatever it is you're selling. And here at the W, it's these beautiful condos, one that we're seeing in, looking at water views on both sides, the ocean, the intercoastal, and the canals. And you have to let people know that you have something to sell.
So let me ask you a question. Your appreciation for theater, your appreciation for acting out a certain thing, your
Yes.
appreciation for demonstration, is that what tipped you into real estate?
Yes. Well, I first of all, real estate is such a great sector because everyone wants to talk about real estate. It doesn't matter if it's the accountant, the plumber, the carpenter, the grocery store clerk, everyone is
Unlike
involved with the subject.
unlike politics, it's a safe conversation.
Very safe.
Yeah.
Everyone is interested in how much did you pay for your condo?
Exactly.
How much did you pay for your house?
Did you hear about that condo they just sold down the street?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone is very nosy about real estate.
It's so true.
And that is a great place to be because it means you can open up a conversation and then get them interested in, oh, you're living in a one-bedroom condo, it's too small for you. Your dream's been to move to a new building in a nice 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. Now you have a conversation. Now you could say, it's not going to cost you anything, let me set this up. Let's do this on Saturday. You're not working on Saturday. You have time. Let's go take a look at that condo. And
So you got, let me jump in here for a minute. So all that's led you to real estate. All of that led you here to South Florida. Your particular specialty, however, is Fort Lauderdale. You've always loved Fort Lauderdale.
yes.
More so than Miami, more so than Palm Beach.
Yes.
Fair?
Yes. When I said I made a slow descent, meaning I continued my business in New York, and I have for many years been marketing real estate here in South Florida. But my home base was New York City, but I used to come and spend several weeks down here. I would stay in hotels.
In Fort Lauderdale?
In Miami mostly.
Okay.
Once in a while in Fort Lauderdale, but because all the projects were in Miami, and then there was one up in Palm Beach, but most of the time I spent in Miami and a little bit of time in Fort Lauderdale, more to visit friends and more to socialize, go out on a boat. But I fell in love with South Florida in general. I saw South Florida as kind of one big place. If it was from Palm Beach down to the Keys, I saw it as just one big area that you could live, work, and play in. And that's why I fell in love with. I fell in love with the weather. I fell in love with that. Where could I live that was diverse enough and still sophisticated enough? It's not New York City on the ocean, but at least it's a lot of people from New York City and all around the world.
It is its own little melting pot,
yes,
for sure.
it's a melting
But
pot.
tell me about your fascination with Fort Lauderdale. Of all
Okay.
the dots on the map,
Yes.
you chose Fort Lauderdale, and it's your expertise now. You know a lot about Fort Lauderdale, and I promise you, your colleagues in Related ISG would like to hear from you. Why do you like Fort Lauderdale so much, and what's happening in Fort Lauderdale that makes 2021 the year that someone should bust a move in Fort Lauderdale?
Well, what attracted me why I decided to buy a second home here, that then I ended up making this my full-time home and bought other properties, was, and I have looked and looked in different parts of Miami, but what I loved about Fort Lauderdale was that it was laid back. It was laid back,
That's very true.
but there still was everything to do in Fort Lauderdale. So
Everything compared to everything you want to do in Miami, everything you want to do in Palm Beach, you can do it here.
I could do here.
Yeah.
It had Broward Performing Arts. It's the 13th largest performing arts center in all the United States. So it has everything you want: the traveling Broadway shows, the opera, the dance, the other theater, the comedy, you name it. We have other theaters in Fort Lauderdale. We have, I mean, for waterways, we're the yachting capital of the world, which is, you know, a phenomenal
That's true.
thing.
Yeah.
And we have,
And that brings its own ilk of people to Fort Lauderdale.
Absolutely. International.
An international boater
Yes.
wants Fort Lauderdale, not Palm Beach and Miami so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, we don't deal with the same things of congestion. We could get anywhere within 10 minutes and have everything. So the restaurants, the clubs, the museum, the theater, it's very compact. So from this location on the beach of Fort Lauderdale at the W, you can be anywhere in 10 minutes. And in 25 minutes to get to the airport, to go to any international destination with an easy, small, clean airport.
How does Fort Lauderdale evolve in 2021?
Well, right now, if you just drive through Fort Lauderdale, 20 minutes, here on the beach, we had about $1.8 billion worth of development. Now that's gone over that point.
Yeah.
Because we
That's
added
like in the
Four
last 5
Seasons.
years.
In the last 5 years.
Just in this immediate neighborhood.
Every single project has been completed in terms of condos, except for right now the Four Seasons. And they'll probably open in a year's time. So we will have completed the beach of new buildings, 24 stories high. That's the maximum you could build on the beach. And there is just a certain sophistication about this central part of Fort Lauderdale Beach, because we have this opportunity to either within the buildings eat at these amazing restaurants with these ocean views. So we have incredible food, service, and we could just walk down the neighborhood and move on to other restaurants, bars.
Let me take you just 2 more questions. 2 miles west is downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Correct.
Tell everybody what's going on.
So in downtown
there.
Fort Lauderdale, there has been now, it started in about 2012, developing what everybody wants, a walking downtown. And that walking downtown has become the newest, most complete downtown of anywhere in America. They have not stopped building from 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Every inch of land has been purchased now in downtown. So where you still see empty lots, 2 of the biggest developers from New York City have bought. So all the buildings are basically residential mixed with office space and commercial. The commercial are all the restaurants, bars, hair salons, spas, so that anywhere you live in downtown, and now the downtown has grown so vastly, you can just walk and go out. Rooftop bars, anything that you want to do. And the idea is that you want to have an office space, just take one downtown. This way you could just walk, you can either go in your building and have an office space, walk to your office space. So it's very exciting.
You're
it's very youthful.
You're a genuine believer in Fort Lauderdale, aren't you?
Absolutely. The future is in Fort Lauderdale. We haven't even seen what's to come because they haven't even completed these projects
That's
yet.
very true.
They've only completed maybe about 40% of these
And
projects.
all those multifamily projects get filled with residents. Fort Lauderdale's liable to feel like downtown Miami. It's going to be percolating with a lot of particularly young people.
Well, downtown is full of young people. Really, the average age is kind of late 20s to late 40s.
So in other words, I'm not allowed.
Oh no, you're very loud because the young at heart are always
Well, that's
loud.
true. Yeah, that's very
Yes,
true. Yeah.
but there's a dynamic feeling in Fort Lauderdale. We are a mix of people, and that's what makes it so great. Because you'll speak to anyone that comes here to the W as well, and they'll say, "My 8-year-old doesn't want to leave. She's crying because she loves it so much because playing at the beach by the pools." We love it because we love going out at night when we put her to bed with the grandparents, and the grandparents love it because they feel like it's serene. They take their walks on the promenade. They could go out for luxury shopping, have nice dinner. So it kind of ticks those boxes for either full-time people or people visiting, that everyone kind of has something that they want here.
I have one final question.
Yes.
One final. I have no doubt that my competitors will phone you up once in a while, invite you for a cup of coffee, a lunch and dinner, because you're a dynamic person, you're full of enthusiasm, you love real estate. But you stick with RelatedISG. You chose RelatedISG. You stay with RelatedISG. And I'm going to ask you to please tell everyone, why do you stay with RelatedISG?
RelatedISG offered me the tools, all the seminars, the workshops, the online tools, and especially being able to just pick up the phone, be able to call anyone that I needed to call. If it was Carolina, if it was you, if it was the marketing director, and say, this is what I need to try and get my job done, or this is the advice I need of how to handle this contract. And they're always there immediately. That's the only way I can work. I can't work in a situation where I can't get a hold of somebody and have the support of my managers.
Well, as you've come to learn, Carolina and I, we have similar management styles. We lead by example. We don't sit around and make a lot of speeches and do a lot of seminars. We just work with people every day. And I've been told, really more so about Carolina, that she exemplifies that attitude. And that's exactly what we want in RelatedISG. I don't want people making speeches. I want people showing people how to do things and doing it with a smile on your face every day, because every day we're going to hit some headwinds, but it doesn't last all day. It doesn't last all week. And particularly when we're here in South Florida, because even you have seen last year in the year of the COVID, a lot of sales activity happening in East Fort Lauderdale, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I mean here since November.
Yeah, here talk about
here from November to just now, we've been getting offers every single week. We just have had 5 new sales.
Where are those people from? Give people a quick snapshot.
Okay, well,
just a quick one.
Okay, so California, New York, New Jersey, Parkland, Florida, and Fort Lauderdale.
Welcome to Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
This is like the new melting pot. And now that South America has reopened from their COVID lockdown, you'll probably get Chileans, Peruvians, Colombians, Mexicans like you got before.
We had Chilean who just was here yesterday, who just flew in from Chile, and he said he's going to make an offer next week. He's staying here for 1 week. Colombia, one of our buyers who's going to close this month from Colombia. And we're getting people from all over the United States and all over the world right now. I mean, buyers here go as far flung as from China. And
it's a great compliment to Fort Lauderdale. It's also it doesn't hurt that you're selling a brand like the W.
Well, everyone knows this international brand. This brand is about fun and relaxation, but it's sophisticated at the same time. And that's something people like. The owners here, they always say, it's the one place I could come and really relax because I have no responsibility. I don't have to do anything for myself. I don't have to worry about anything. And when I shut the door and then I rent it and I make a lot of income, I'm not involved. No one's ever going to call me.
Wonder what's more fun, listening to Coldplay or all that income you just referred to?
I think the income.
I'm encouraging all of you to come and visit Robert at the W in Fort Lauderdale. Our sales office is open literally every day. But not only will Robert talk up the W and the W brand and its strategic location in Fort Lauderdale on the Los Olas Beach, but he'll also be able to talk to you more about what's happening in Fort Lauderdale. He's got a point. This is the year of Fort Lauderdale. I suspect that this time next year, you're going to be seeing real estate values up here, very much matching those high prices that we're hearing about in Miami. So learn more about it from Robert, and I want to thank you very much for being our inaugural guest in 2021.
Well, thank you.
On the Insider
What a
Series.
great place to do
And
it.
on a personal note, it's really a pleasure working with you.
Pleasure.
You're doing a fantastic job for RelatedISG here. You're representing us so well.
Thank you.
Us, related companies up in New York, and our partners related in Miami as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank all of you. And I'll see you the following week on our next edition of the Insider Series. Happy New Year, everyone. Bye-bye.